think we're live. I think we're back. Sorry to everyone who was watching the other stream. How do I end this workout? Alright, I think we're good for now. I'll start from here. Thanks to everyone who came over from the other stream. Sorry about that. I hadn't had any problems in this room before, but in the last week, yeah, I don't know if there's definitely something wrong, so I'll get it fixed soon. I think by unplugging and rearranging some things, I'm hoping it's fixed for today. I'm hoping I can keep the fans on and get through this test, and then do a permanent fix after. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it on erg mode, so I'll have the most accurate numbers from this test. First 5 to 10 minutes is gonna be super easy. Just easing into it. Yeah, I know Farm Wasp personally. He's crazy strong. I mean, he's a special rider for sure. To have an FTP that high, it's probably one of, if not the highest FTP test There are FTPs in the entire world. It's amazing. Get some good music going. Thank you, Astra. That's the goal for today. I think if I get halfway through the 540 watt segment, that's an FTP of 400. There is a nationals for most countries. Well, at least for most countries that are represented at the Esport World Championships. So the US has national championships, Canada, Belgium, France. A lot of those countries have Esport national championships. They're usually in, at least the US ones, are usually in the middle of winter. So I think they were in January or beginning of February. So probably the same thing going forward. There goes the electronics again. I think I might have. I think I might have to call this test for today. I don't know what's going on with the outlets here, but yeah, it's messing up the test because it thinks I'm done. So I've already reset some things, unplugged some things. It's still not working. I might have to come back tomorrow for this. Sorry guys. Yeah, I don't know what else to do here. Yeah, this is just completely not working. Well, yeah, my laptop won't survive without being plugged in. So, um, yeah, I think I'll just have to come back to this. I think I'll just try again tomorrow. Um, yeah, I've already unplugged most things. Already reset the breaker. These lights keep flashing. I'll try one more thing. One last attempt for today. Yeah, it's still not working at all. I can't even plug in one thing. Well, trainer's plugged in now. Laptop's plugged in. I guess I can try. Looks like it's working for now. Alright, one last attempt for the day. I have to restart this whole thing. I don't know what the camera is doing. How did I end up here? There we go. Skip block. Skip block. Can't skip the cooldown? Wow, this is all... Never give up, never back down, never give up. I don't know why I can't skip the cooldown. I might just have to end the ride and start a new one. At this point, I can't skip the block? No? Can't skip the cooldown? FTP ramp test. Alright. Yeah, at this point, I'm gonna ride a full hour before I even get to the FTP test. Most of it's been quite easy, though. Alright, this is the last attempt. If the lights die again, if the electronics can't make it, I'll officially call it for the day. Yeah, at this point, the caffeine gel that I had an hour ago is probably out of my system. Probably used it all during that warm-up. Let's see if I can skip it. Yeah, I guess I can't skip it. Maybe in the ramp test, it doesn't allow you to skip the steps, because then you would mess up the FTP if you just skipped all the way to like the 600 watt step. Maybe that's it. Or there's something wrong with my app, I'm not really sure. At this point, if anything else goes wrong, I'm just calling it a day. I think my legs still feel pretty good. Hopefully there's not too much fatigue. I just did a longer warm-up basically. That's truly my, yeah. I think I've hopped off the bike 3 or 4 times, drank half my water bottle, caffeine gel is gone. I had the bicarb like an hour and a half ago. Maybe that's ideal timing. I guess we'll find out. Fans turned on and off. I started my music and stopped it like 4 times. Yeah. I have been warming up for a long time. But yeah, this is final attempt for the day. Hopefully this works. Yeah, today I'm definitely aiming for the 560 watt step, which would give me an FTP over 400 watts. That's the goal for today. Good luck with your workout as well. 40/20s are always hard. It's always good to suffer alongside other people. All right. Once we get to 200 watts, it'll be low zone 2, a little more focus. Then zone 3 at 300 watts. Then 400 watts, it'll be zone 4, and then getting up to zone 5, super, super hard. Good thing I meditated this morning, otherwise I would have quit by now for sure. Second stream of the day, almost an hour in. The temperature right now is not bad actually. It's quite humid, but I think it's 55 or 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which in Celsius, what is that, like 16, 17 degrees Celsius? Definitely not hot, definitely not cold. Next week is supposed to be very hot. Temperature is up towards 90, 95 degrees Fahrenheit. I think that's above 40 degrees Celsius. Very hot, but not today. I know there's a heat wave in Europe. Yeah, Levi, especially when you do the same workout over and over, like the ramp test. Same thing every time, you know what's coming. Sometimes it's nice, it gets me out of my head. I like the motivational messages. Once I get up into like 300 watts, it's like, oh my god, you're the best cyclist ever. I'm doing like 360. It makes me feel good. It's a good point, Levi. I think it's hard to make a workout with text for everybody. All right. Getting up into zone 2 now. Trying to keep my cadence around 90, 95. Yes, for sure. Yeah, I'm definitely going to stand for the higher wattages. I know that the test tells you to stay seated, but I'm testing my actual FTP today on the indoor trainer. which means the most power I can do for an hour, which on the trainer, that means a lot of time out of the saddle, and I'm fine with that. Yeah, Nile for you is completely different. This is probably like 7 watts a kilo for you. That's probably around where I'll finish today. That's true, yeah, zone 1 for him is like 280. Yeah, after the test, I'll do Q&A for like 15 minutes probably. So if you have any questions, save them for after the test, because now it's getting a little tough. I won't be talking for much longer, maybe another minute or two. Yeah, Ghana's zones are probably the same as farm watts. If I had to guess, probably a 500 watt FCP. I'm going to stop talking after this step. I'll catch you guys at the end of the test. 400. Woo! Yes. 402. I did not feel that good. Did not feel good at all. So I'm really happy with that. Heart rate's still very high. I think I'll ride back to Watopia. Oh, what was the 5 minute on that? Like 490? 489. Next time, if I feel good, 5 minutes at 500 at the end of that test. With all the stress of everything, yeah, I'm happy with that because it wasn't ideal. I had to restart the test like 2 separate times. Glad I didn't give up though. That happened so fast. Like, I got to 400, 420, stood up, and it was like, not too bad. And then you just get to 480, and it's like, oh my god, this is hard. And then I had to do 3.5 minutes at that. I mean, maybe I say I gave up a bit too early, but my legs were really hurting. I was throwing my whole body into it. Maybe if I felt better, 10 or 12 more seconds, but there's no way I would make it past the 540 watt step today at least. Thank you, Levi, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming back to the stream too. I'm annoyed that the first one had to end, but I'll just repost that as my ramp test warm-up, I guess, so you guys can see exactly how I warm up for a race or power test. Thanks for all the comments, guys. I appreciate it. It helps a lot, really. Hey, and I'm glad the electronics didn't explode when I was doing 500 watts. Would have lost all the data from the test. Thanks everyone for watching. I think on a super good day, FTP 405, 410, I think I would have to make it to the end of the 540 watt step. If I feel amazing, I know it's possible. See, I like that workout text. That is 100% true. No matter what number you do, no matter how you feel, no matter what the result of the FTP ramp test is, you can still be proud of your effort. Just by showing up, getting on the bike, that's already a win. It doesn't matter if your FTP is 50 watts or 500 watts. That's one of my favorite things about cycling is that, of course, there's the competition part, but there's also the fact that you're testing yourself against yourself every day, every ride, every workout. You don't have to think about anyone else. You don't have to compare yourself to anyone else. In fact, I don't recommend that. I try not to. I look at others as inspiration and motivation, but unless you're Tadej Pogacar, there's always going to be someone better than you. And even he doesn't win every race. Only 2/3 of them. Yeah, some people have an FTP under 100 watts. I've worked with those athletes before. It's usually people that have never really exercised or trained in their entire life. And they want to get into cycling, and they want to set a benchmark. And that's where some people start. Oh wow, 32 degrees Celsius, that's hot. Especially for 10 minutes of 40/20s. That'll jack your heart rate up quickly. Does it count as heat training? That's a good question. I would say the only way to know for sure is having a core sensor to measure your core body temperature, because you can feel hot from your skin and the environment, but that doesn't always mean that your core temperature is high, and that's where the heat training adaptations come from. So my guess is that, yeah, if you're riding in a room that's 32 degrees Celsius, I assume you warmed up a little bit, and then you did a 10-minute set of 40/20s, your core temperature is probably very high. So if you just maintain that core temperature for at least 20 or 30 minutes, that's heat training right there. It doesn't always need to be in a sauna suit. Yeah, Niall, the team it's coming together. It's coming together. Not 100% finalized yet, but it's going to be a really good one. Oh, GTA 6 is out tomorrow. I forgot. I'm sure my brother knows. He's been looking forward to that for months, maybe even years. I wonder if my brother ever watches these streams. I doubt it. I know he sees my short videos, the short clips. Not sure if he ever watches these. Does anyone else know Mina no Kimochi? That's what I'm listening to right now. the Japanese like underground electronic duo. Their stuff is so good. Oh yeah, Milan, I'll catch up on those messages and posts today. I saw the move. It was a sad day. It's a sad week that Giannis is leaving, but it's okay. He was here for a long, long time. Wisconsin has a history of our sports superstars doing that, with Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. They were the best in their career when they were here in Wisconsin, but then instead of finishing it out in Wisconsin, they went somewhere else and didn't really do much until the end of their career. That was a good ramp test, even though I didn't feel great. I mean, it's still a PR. Was that all time? Almost an all-time 10-11 minutes. Basically, yeah, tied. Yeah, I set a PR for 8.5, 9 minutes, 7 minutes, 460, 470 for 7 minutes. That's my best ever for that duration. 500 was 4 minutes. 5 minutes, 490. That was a good one. That was a very, very good test. Oh, the legs are sore trying to stand up. Like, my energy feels okay because that total effort was only 10-12 minutes was like the really hard part, but the soreness in my legs is very high. Yeah, it was a huge trade for Giannis. Huge, huge move. Been talking about it for years. He will enjoy a very different weather climate in Miami compared to Milwaukee. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a good feeling to post that over 400. First time in my entire life. My best ever 30-minute power that I did for Zwift Academy a year or two ago was 398 watts. And that was half an hour, not an hour. So at that time, that was the best FTP I'd ever had at that point. It was 390. I feel the difference between the virtual and the outside one. You mean like the feeling on the bike? Like the virtual, like an indoor trainer versus the feeling outside? Because in that case, yes, definitely. I think something I struggled with today for the ramp test was keeping it on erg mode. I think I could try it without erg mode, but I feel like it's really hard to get the steps, like to get them really precise in order to get accurate results from that test. I feel like it'd be really easy to dip if you lose focus and then kind of punch and overcompensate. And in a ramp test where every single second counts, any of those extra efforts add up and it could really affect the outcome of the test. So I kept it on erg mode, which I normally don't use erg mode for intervals over 500 watts. So that last few minutes was definitely like tougher on the legs than in my other workouts, just because the pushing and pulling in erg feels a little bit different, especially at the really high power outputs. Just a few more minutes here of cooling down. I think I'll go to the top of this hill. I'll descend back towards Watopia and then finish in the underground tunnel. It's about an hour and a half of riding total. Steady power outdoors. That's interesting because if you're good at it on the indoor trainer in erg mode, then physically, I know that you have that capability to hold steady power in your legs and in your body position and all that. Is there something different that you're doing with your riding style between indoors and outdoors? Like indoors, are you out of the saddle a lot? Versus outdoors, you're seated in a different position? Or is it that outside, is it long steady climbs where you're struggling with the power? Versus indoors, you're just on a flat indoor trainer? Because if you're climbing, the position is slightly different with your body, so that could be a factor. Things like that is what I would think about, and the cadence too. Alright, almost done. I think I'm close to the upgrade for this bike. I think it's at level 3 or 4. And then I only have one more to go for the Cannondale Halo bike. That's the last one that I need. Let's see if it sends me to the left, which is where I want to go, down the descent. There we go. Off to the Italian villas. this is gonna be it for me today. Nice cool down done. Heart rate's coming down. Core temperature slowly coming down. The legs are feeling okay, still quite sore, but they should after setting a PR like that. All right. That is a great question. Can you dance during the FTP test? You can definitely dance during the FTP test. That's up to you. I think you mean stand, which is another good question. I think it depends on exactly what you're testing. So if you want to test your seated FTP, you're testing your seated FTP. If you race and train mostly indoors like I do, then I think you can stand, it's fine, because in a race, you're going to be doing the most power that you can do standing on the indoor trainer, if that's your style. So if you want to test your standing FTP, that's also valid. Just know that it doesn't apply either way. If you only test one way, it doesn't automatically transfer to the other as well. Yeah, if you're adding high quality zone 2 after intervals, that's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it as long as it's not taking away from your recovery. I would say if you start feeling bad in your other workouts and you can't hit the numbers and the fatigue is too much, then it's not worth it. But if you can add that endurance time and still get high quality, high intensity intervals done the rest of the week, then it's definitely good. All right, I'm gonna get going. Thanks everyone for watching. Thank you for those who saw the first stream, saw the warm-up, came back for the second one, despite all the tech and electronic issues. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow with probably some intervals. Not really sure, I'll see how I feel. It might be tempo intervals if I don't feel great. It might be VO2 max if I feel really good. Thanks for watching.